Hi, today we'll see how to work with different events, page lifecycle events in practical way. Because we already discussed that, like, we have a different phases of event, that is pre-init and as well as init complete, on preload, as well as we have a page load and control level events, pre-render, save state complete, render, and then page unload. These are the different kind of events which are available in our ASP.NET, in ASP.NET, in which we are going to work with each and every event. See, first one is, as we already discussed, that is a pre-init event. So the major purpose of a pre-init event is which is going to, like, pre-initialize the values, that is controls, and as well as it is going to apply a styles themes related to master pages, and this information is going to be set by pre-init event. Okay, so before going to work with this each and every event, what we have to do is we would like to take one label, so that we'll display our output in label, so that we'll get to know what are the, phases of events which we are going to work, and how a event is going to be processed. That information we can get to know with the help of this information, with the help of the label as an output. Okay, so I would like to take a Visual Studio. I'm going to take a, new page in our ASP.NET application. So I'm going to take a new page.
I
Add.
think the screen is stuck. I can see only, I don't see Visual Studio.
Is it?
Yeah.
Just could you check your internet connection? Maybe slow or what?
No, it looks okay.
Okay.
Since I still have the Microsoft Word on my screen.
Okay. Okay. I just named it as page lifecycle event cx.aspx. Still same, or would it be
No, no,
changed?
still same.
Same.
Still same.
Okay. Then do one thing. I created a page. My page name is page lifecycle events ex.aspx. So let me take one label here, because you have to portrait our output in this label. Label id equal to lbl message, and run it equal to server. Just equals to my label. So we already discussed multiple number of events in earlier class. So that just I want to, copy what are the common events that we worked so far. This is the phase, right? First is pre-init, next is init, next is init complete, next is on preload. So now what I'm going to do is lbl message dot text equal to lbl message dot text plus, here I would like to, display some kind of information, that is pre-init some kind. So just I would like to take a break tag, okay, in order to differentiate our output from one label to another label. So just here I would like to display it as a pre-init. Just we want to identify this information from pre-init. Similarly, I just copy my label and paste it here. So just I want to change init event. And similarly, just I pasted here, and I can use it as init complete preload. Okay. just I want to execute my page so that we can see how our output should be. Our output should be like this: pre-init, and in next line we'll get an output like init event. So BR is for the break, right? So which is our output is coming as in the form of a next line. So init complete preload. In web-based applications, if you want to break your line, then we can use a BR as a tag. So just I'm going to execute this page. Let us see. Let us look how our pre-init, next is init event, next init complete, next is preload. This is the way how it is going to be displayed for us. Now what I'm going to do is, just now I want to make use of other kind of events, other events, like we have a page load, and as well as we have a button. So for example, I want to click a button, then I make use of a button, then page load complete, all the things just I want to use. So I would like to take one button here, ASP button id equal to btn submit, runnet equal to server. This is my button. Just I want to go with the design view. So I want to give a text for button also. Text submit, design view. In this button click, when I click on this, so my button click event is going to be raised here. This is a page load event, and here I would like to take it as a button submit event. In page load dot font equal to font size dot, so just I can make it as a large. I would like to font bold equal to 2. Just I would like to make it as. Now I'm going to execute this page. So we got, like, all these events are executed when I click on this submit button. So now pre-init, init event, init complete, preload, page load, preload, and again we have a page load and a button submit click. So in this way we are going to, each and every event is going to be filed. Okay. Now
Preload is twice because you put it again in submit button.
yeah,
Okay.
let me check preload. Yeah, see, the differentiate in this output is, just will I would like to differentiate here. Up to here, up to here, first time when we execute a page, up to here our output will be loaded. And when
Right.
again when we click on our submit button, from it is going to start from the start itself. Just I'm going to
Okay.
execute here. We'll see.
So it goes back to the
Yeah,
server again.
so this is the last event. Okay, once this ended, then this is a page load event. Okay, when I click on this
Right.
submit button, so you can check again it is going to be start with,
Preload.
yeah, it will always starts with the preload and then page load and then button submit click. Okay, in this way,
Okay.
so this is nothing but one kind of round trip. So when you click on submit button, our request is going to be posted to the server. From server we are getting a response. In such a way our output will be ported.
There is something called partial postback also, right? That
Yes.
can be done only via Ajax or?
Yeah, partial postbacks that can be done through Ajax only. So Ajax
Okay.
calls or through jQuery calls that we can achieve. Okay, and even we can make use of Ajax controls also in order to do partial
Because
postback.
I told you, at work I had a defect, right? When you click on submit, on save,
Okay.
one of the two of the radio buttons disappear.
Okay. Okay.
So then it goes into validation that it doesn't go to the next button because those were mandatory.
Uh,
So the person has to click on cancel.
yes. Okay,
That
that we will check, because the kind of scenario that you portrayed is because I think maybe in JavaScript or jQuery, whatever they use it for their client side, so maybe they
okay.
make it as a, like, visibility false or true something, or enable any of the enable features, maybe, or false or true, that we have to check.
Okay.
Okay. So next, coming to this, after our button submit, and we have a load complete on pre-render, right? So that we'll see. So this is the load complete. If you have any other events instead of text box, instead of button also, that we can check there. So page unload is our last event, where, that is used for cleanup of our code. That means that memory utilization mechanisms are all are going to apply in the page unload event only. Okay. Now let us check in page load complete. So how our process should looks like. So here this is load complete. So just I put empty for our my page unload event. So here I want to put it when my page load is going to be started, which indicates that first execution process ends. Okay, whenever we are going to use here, this indicates that our first process execution ends, and then when you click on submit button, again it will starts from here. Okay, and the process is going to be, like, continuous. Now what I'm going to do is, let us see like how our output will be at first stage, means at the time of first time execution. So page load is here, and then load complete, pre-render, save state complete. This is the process, right? When I click on the submit, so the basic step is going to be started. So our basic btn submit click. Earlier up to here we have. So again, see, maybe you observed or not, that I don't know, but these three events are going to be executed at last. Okay, all this execution will be done only one time. So at is, like, you can know, before going to submit a request. So before going to submit a request, it is always hit to the server, and then it is going to provide an output at browser level. Every time whatever the output is provided at browser level, the moment these three events are going to be raised, until unless it won't, we won't get an output without executing these events. Okay, let me start at a first phase so that we can understand very clearly on this. So this is the first phase of our execution process. So this is the normal event. See, these three events are help us to provide our output in an HTML format. Okay, when I click on this, the same set is repeated. So let us see, pre-render, load complete, pre-render, say up to preload. So here see, load complete, pre-render. Okay, load, page load is not at all required, because page load is earlierly, loaded. So here save state complete. So this event comes to the picture whenever we are posting our, information from our client to server side. So then automatically save state complete comes to our picture. Okay, along with load complete and pre-render. So load complete and pre-render are, these are help us to provide an output for an end user. So these two, okay, these two. So load complete and as well as pre-render. Okay, the moment when you like when our request is hit to the server, then before going to like provide an output, save state complete event is going to be raised. Got my point?
Yeah.
Okay. So I already told you. So in unload, so page unload event. So I would like to make one thing here. LBL message dot text equal to. I'm going to execute this page. So I'm going to submit a button. So save state. Like did you saw any output that stating that page unload event is going to be fired some kind of information? Did you saw here?
No.
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 We already discussed that whenever we are using a page unload event, which is frees our memory. Okay, the major purposes which frees or which cleanups our code. But here we didn't write
Okay.
anything related to the free up. Instead of that, we just assign some value to label. Even though we are assigning, it won't takes. It fear it clears entire code and it provides an output to us. Okay.
So we don't have to write anything specific
Yeah,
for clearing
yes,
the.
yes. We don't have to write anything here in page unload at this point of time.
Okay.
But going forward, we have to write. Generally, whenever we are using a stream readers, buffer readers, okay, whenever we are using a connection objects, before going to connect with the database, we are going to use a connection object, connection open, connection close, some kind of things, right?
Right.
Those things we can freeze here because here we don't have any editor kind of interactions and we don't have any stream related information, buffer related information. That's the reason we don't want to write anything here at this point of time. But going forward, if you are using an external classes to read your information, so the thing is once a reading is done from your end, it's your primary object to dispose that object. Dispose is nothing but to deallocate in memory for that object. In that scenarios, if you are using that means automatically the performance of the application is good. Otherwise, even though if you are not using that also no issues, but performance wise there will be a lot of degradation will be there if you are dealing with enterprise based applications, means large scale applications. Okay, it is a best practice to dispose your object in page unload event. Okay, even though it is not a problem if you are not using page unload event, but performance side it is good to use. Okay, going forward we'll see some kind of examples there. Okay, with unload event, like whenever we are interacting with databases and all those things. Okay, so
Okay.
far
Okay.
you are I think you are like you have a clarity on these things, right? So
Yeah.
just assigning values with the labels. Now let us forward. Let us extend this example with the view state. Okay, let us extend our example with view state. We already discussed some kind of thing like some information that is nothing but a view state, right? View state is nothing
Yeah.
but one of the object which is available in the page level, which holds some information. That information is available at round trips times. Means even though when you submit your request to the server, that information is preserved. That is because of view state. Okay. Now let us see an example related with a view state, how a view state will be works and how we are going to utilize that view state value in our programming. So for this, I want to take a new page lifecycle event page. I would like to add a new item. I want to give it as pglce 1.aspx. Here I would like to take label id equal to lbl message runner equal to server. These are the common events that I'm going to paste here, those events. View state. Okay. So view state, you can give any name. Okay. So the name indicates that which is going to be used for further. Okay. If you want to refer this name, you can use my value. My value is the name for this view state. Okay. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign some value to the view state, and that value I'm going to assign that value to the label so that I can check my value is coming to view state or not. In order to identify this information is available or not, we want to display that as an output, then only we'll identify, right? So for that reason I'm using view state plus. So I would like to take a break, and here I would like to take this event name. Just you can observe this output. See what I'm trying to do is view state of my value. So this is an object where it stores some information. That information is view state of my value, means empty information plus break. So I'm going to use PreInit, means PreInit is going to be held in this view state. Now I want to assign that value to this view state. Okay, as I already told you, no, whenever we are using for text box control or label control, text is a property. Text always expects an information in the form of a string, so that I can use a convert dot to string mechanism here. So now output will be like whatever the information is available with view state, that information will be assigned to this label. Up to so far it was clear for you?
Right now, view state will get pre-init, right?
Yes,
The
yes,
word
yes,
pre-init,
yes, yes. Okay,
which is already a string.
yes, which is already a string. So just I'm going to
Okay.
execute this. See, pre-init, okay, init event, init complete, preload. So because these are continuous here itself. Okay, pre-init is from here, and init event is from here, and init complete and preload. Okay, that
Right.
was clear. That was clear for you so far. Okay, the difference between earlier program and this program is here we are make using of view state. Okay, now
So,
similarly I'm going to assign the value for the view state here also. So view state init event.
so what is the use of view state? It just
That
retains the value like
yes, yes, it just
across.
retains the values in postbacks. Okay, that will see
Okay.
once the end of this program we'll get to know.
Okay.
Similar way I can portrait for this rest of events also. So I can make use of convert dash to string, otherwise it gives an error. So I'd like to make use of like found dot bold equal to true. So just I'm going to execute this program. Pre-init, next is init event, next is init complete, next is preload. Okay. So far it was clear for us. Now let us
Yes.
continue with rest of the things. So page load, we'll continue with the page load and submit, load complete, and as well as on pre-render, and then we are going to continue with on save state complete page unload event. For everywhere, just copy paste here. So I can change it to page load. I can make use to button submit. I'll remove this line. And the other is load complete. It is load complete. Just I'm going to remove this one. Next, this is pre-render. This is save state complete. Just I'm going to remove this one. This is page unload event. Page unload event. Just I'm going to remove this one. Now I'm going to execute this page. Now let us examine this output. So pre-init, like init event, init complete, preload, page load, and after that load complete, pre-render, save state complete. There is no button here. Just I want to take display one button here so that it makes easy for us. Here I would like to use some kind of separator so that we can get to know this ends with first phase. Submit and run it equal to server. See, whenever you are double clicking on this, it gives like different event. Instead of that, you can make use of a earlier event. So now you can check. When we double click on this, it will comes to the existing event. Okay. If it is created an event named with a click one, then just remove that one, because we no need to go with a new event. We can just make use of that existing. Just you can change that name in your source itself. Like instead of one, you can make it just you can remove that one, so that automatically it will raise that click event. So now I'm going to execute this one, this page. This is the way how we are using. When I click on this, submit button. So now see, now looks pre-render. So up to here, page load and then load complete. I already told you that this is a pre-render event. So pre-render indicates that your execution process ends here itself. Now what you have to do, what you have to observe is, now when I click on the submit button, my event flow is going to starts with preload, page load and button click event, and then load complete event completes, and then pre-render, and then save state completes. In this way our execution flows will be there. Whenever we are using a page unload event, so page unload event is not going to display output for us. Instead of that, it is facing some information. Now let us check what is the difference between view state and other values which are available in our ASP.NET in order to preserve a state of our information. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one variable in this page load. Okay, my variable, I would like to take my variable is a equal to, say for example, 10. So I'm assigning some value to the page. So after assigning, just I want to display that value in one of the script tag. Okay, response dot write. I would like to take one script tag, script alert. So plus a means I want to display an information which is available with a. Okay, in page load, if I write a equal to something, so it I'm going to use here itself. I can declare it as in globally. I declare it as a globally. Just I make use of just I'm going to display my a value here in page load event. Okay, now same kind of statement. Also, here I would like to value of a is okay. Now same statement I'm going to copy and paste here in submit. Okay, so you can observe clearly, you can get to know the difference between view state and normal variable when our request is submitted to the server. Okay, actually original value is 10. Whenever we are at first time execution, we are expecting an output like value of a is 10. Once we click on submit button, at that moment also we are going to expect the same output. So now let us check. I'm going to click on this submit. Script alert response dot write. Something is wrong. There is a reason where it is not displaying our output. See, first time it is 10. Okay. Next time when I click on the submit, so it is also 10. So okay. So two times it is coming. Why? Because at the whenever we are using the submit button, 10 one time at page load, and another 10 at one more time it is at a submit level. Means our request is submitted at server. The moment when you submit our submit our request to the server, even though my value is available at my button. Now a equal to a plus 10. I'm assigning something. So I'm executing this. So first time 10, it's okay. Next time submit 10. So next time 20. Means, and button click, what we are going to do, what we did, we are initializing our, we are incrementing our a value with 10. So that initial value is 10 and again 10 is incremented and 20 as an output is come. Okay, it's okay. See, this is a normal scenario of variable, right? So now let us consider one text box here. Let us consider one text box here. ASP, text box id equal to txt data run it equal to server run it equal to server. Now let us check. So we already discussed something, some kind of property that is nothing but enable view state. We already discussed that enable view state is true. Okay. So now here I want to take one more text box which is nothing but HTML text box. So the difference is input type equal to, we can make use of txt. Okay, and id I want to give txt my data. Just I'm taking like this. Just I'm closing this. Now I'm going to execute this one, this page. Okay, 10 is coming on the fly. It's okay. So I'm providing some information like 23 and in other text box 32. You can observe that 23 is assigned to a ASP.NET text box and 32 is assigned to an HTML text box. I'm going to click on submit button. Okay, some kind of output. Just I would like to comment that one. See, 23 is remains as it is, but whatever the value that we entered for our HTML disappears. Okay, what we are expecting, even though when we are clicking on the submit button, our request submit to the server. At that time we want to retain our values. Okay, but that is not happening in the case of HTML control. Okay, this is because of HTML doesn't preserve state. Once the moment when you, our request is submitted to the server, state of the control is won't preserved by HTML controls, but it can be preserved by ASP.NET server side controls with the help of a view state, enable view state property. Okay, here we have enable view state property, right?
Yeah.
Enable view state property, which we already sent. By default that value is in true. Okay, enable view state. If you make it to false, then it won't preserve your value. When you are when you submit your request to the server, the moment the value will be cleared off, how it will happen with a normal HTML control. Okay, so out of this program, so we can make it page level also, page level enable view state also. See here, enable view state, if you make it to false means whatever the controls that you use in this page, all the view state of each and every page is going to be off because of this property. Okay, so that we must ensure that once our request is submitted to the server, even though our request is submitted to the server, we want to preserve the state of our control. So because of that we can make use of a view state property in our ASP.NET.
Okay.
Okay, if you wish to
Okay.
continue with same value, whatever the value which is available, just we can use that and we can do an operations, whatever the operations on top of it. Okay, suppose if you have a 23 as in value, if you want to do some calculation, like you want to do some kind of percentage calculation, whatever the things, so you can do on top of that value, so that we can make use programming with the help of a view state. Okay, that is one of the advantages with view state. View state always preserves or retains the values whatever we given, even though our request is submit to the server.
Okay.
Okay, that is about base of this program.
So you have to specifically go and put enable use state, or it's already there
It's
for
already there.
ASP
That's what I'm telling.
vulnerabilities?
That's what I'm telling.
Okay.
For
Okay.
ASP.NET controls, by
Oh,
default,
it's already
enable
there.
view
Yeah.
state is true. For HTML
Okay.
controls, it won't be true. So,
Okay.
okay. Next, now let us work with response dot write. Okay. So we already seen response dot write, which is as similar to the console dot write line in our console applications. Okay, so here you can find one of the disadvantages with response.write. Okay, I will take one more program and just I want to display the output how it is looks with response.write. Okay, so that will conclude the topic of page life cycle events. I would like to take a new item, pglce2.aspx. Here I don't want any control or any label, because I would like to display that information in the form only, which is because we are going to make use of a load event, right? Here what I'm going to do is just I want to copy paste these events up to here. Response.write PreInit simply I'm going to remove all these things. These two lines are not at all required. I'm going to use init event here. Init complete preload event. I don't want to take a button, as you know, like if you are using button, so that event is going to be raised. So rest of the things I want to make use. This is load complete. This is pre-render save state complete. Just here I want to comment this part, page unload event. So now let us check our output. So there is nothing difference. One by one all events are going to be executed. There is nothing difference. But your output is displayed without the help of a label. That's it. That is only the difference. Now
Okay.
what I am going to do is just I want to enable this one. Okay. See, in previous example, for page unload, we are just assigning some data to the label. So even though we are assigning some data to the label, that is not at all displaying for us. Because we already discussed that it won't display anything, it is going to free up some memory. But whenever we are using this response.write statement in unload event, it is going to be displays an output for us. Sorry, it is going to displays an error to us. So the error is because of, so response is an object. Okay, response is an object for the page. So whenever we are trying to push some kind of response, then automatically our page object won't allow us to do the same thing. Okay, because once unload is there, then automatically page is nothing but page is in deprecated mode, means page is in disposed mode. So there is no use to assign. If page is available, then only our response object is available. In unload event, page won't available for us. Page becomes empty. So that there is no scope of attaining a value from the response. That is the reason where response is not available in this context, the kind of error that is displaying here itself. Okay, so that is an in page unload event, don't try to take an object information which belongs to a page class. Okay, if you are trying to access that, then it gives an HTTP exception error, so that our program won't execute for further. What my point?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all about examples with
Take it.
life cycle events.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we have a is postback property and as well as is valid property, and these things we'll get to know when we are doing a programming with ASP.NET. We are going to do a programming with SQL Server, right? Back and DB operations, we are going to bind some kind of data, and all those operations we get to know.
Okay.
At that point of time we will make use of is postback, and how to use is postback, how to use is valid, these kind of things we can get to know.